The other big problem we see, which is number two, which is brand, right? You might have some base systems, but we all know that customers judge a book by its cover. So if your logo's bad, your website doesn't look good, it's not mobile optimized or mobile friendly, all these things will hurt first impressions. And so, branding matters. Welcome to the Dream Funnel Business Talk Podcast, where we're dedicated to helping real estate professionals, brokers, and agents grow their businesses, maximize commissions, and implement smart strategies that actually save time and eliminate missed opportunities. On today's call, we're talking about how you, as a real estate professional, can achieve your goals in 2025 and beyond. We also have a very special guest on today, my dear friend Dennis Sassman, who has sold and or participated in billions of dollars with a B in real estate transactions. He has some amazing insights, solutions, stories, and ideas for you. So, Dennis, I like the analogy of a GPS because everybody understands what a GPS is, right? We all know we hop in our car and we follow the blue line to our destination, right? It's very quick, it's easy, it's efficient. The problem is many brokers and agents may not know where they want to go, let alone how to get there. And so GPS for us stands for goals, priorities, and strategies, right? What's the goal in 2025? If I'm a real estate broker, my goal may be to double or 2x my personal commission revenue for the year. Or I may want to grow by building a team of ambitious agents who can sell for me. But either way, once you know what your goals are, the next step is to prioritize. And then, of course, the strategy is how do you get there? And we'll get into, by the way, our strategic growth roadmap that has our 12 stages of strategy of how we think most brokers and agents can win and succeed in 2025 and beyond. So I've got some questions for you. I know you've got some for me. One more thing I want to get into, of course, after all that is what's holding back most of the, brokers and agents, because we all have challenges in our business. One is technology. We all need it. We know our customers are online. We know we need technology and systems to reach our customers, i.e. buyers and sellers for properties. But people either have too many systems, too few systems, or they just don't integrate with each other. So it's a little bit of a nightmare to operate. The other big problem we see, which is number two, which is brand, right? You might have some base systems, but we all know that customers judge a book by its cover. So if your logo's bad, your website doesn't look good, it's not mobile optimized or mobile friendly, all these things will hurt first impressions. And so, branding matters. And challenge number three is marketing. If you have systems in place and you have a good brand, which by the way also builds trust and credibility, the third thing is you need marketing, right? We need more awareness, people to know what areas you service, the services you offer, why they should choose your brokerage or you as an agent to help them buy or sell their property. And so we'll get into marketing, some of the solutions and activities that can help with that. And the last one is really number four, which is sales. And so just to recap, we have technology challenges, brand and trust issues, marketing activity challenges, and sales, which are everything from following up to, keeping it simple and getting more listings, but also not spending all day long on manual effort or, leads that may not be that qualified. How do you use systems and technology to save time, automate those tasks, and really spend your time talking to qualified buyers and sellers who are pretty much ready to go? That's what we help brokers and agents do.
Yeah, well, I think we start with the most important thing, and you're right. Those four buckets are the biggies for any real estate office, whether it's a single agent or a large brokerage house. It's all one and the same. They all have the same underlying key needs. So I would start with the technology. Technology is a very complex subject matter, and particularly as you try to fit the technology not only into the performance that needs to be done, but the functionalities, the various functionalities that you just addressed, the branding, the marketing, and the sales.
Yeah.
How does technology actually assist in doing that? And quite frankly, that's why I think that the Dream Funnel package, the fully integrated Dream Funnel package, is the solution, because you pull together the operational aspects, the business operating aspects are blended into that package, into that platform, which is, there's a lot of CRM systems, a lot of development systems, and kind of like I sent that list over to you this morning. It's a jumbled up mess. If you and I know for a fact, because I've actually have assisted real estate brokerage houses, actually created some from scratch, setting up a broker that wanted to grow his business from just himself and 3 agents that were writing their contracts on the hood of their cars.
And I'm actually glad that you're bringing this up, because I do want to touch a little bit on your background, your history, why folks should listen to us, why they should listen to you about real estate, and why they should listen to me about marketing. And
Well, overall, I started off in the banking community, in banking, age 19, enrolled in college, got onto Bank of America training program, a 90-day wonder. 90 days, I was an assistant cashier on a teller line. And I did that became literally within the first year, I was made operations officer for the Van Nuys, California branch, which is we actually had the largest automobile flooring portfolio of any of the branches of Bank of America across the nation. But anyway, I spent 4 years there in the banking world, found out I was not cut out to be a banker, and I didn't want to raise my family down in Los Angeles Basin area, because it's just not a real vibrant area. So I moved up into the Sierra foothills and started my own construction business. And from there, I started building homes until interest rates went to 7.5%, and that killed that market. This is a long time ago. But from there, I wound up basically following my passion of flying. But having my air taxi business introduced me, I was flying a lot of Boise Cascade people back and forth from the Bay Area up into what they were building at the time back in the late 60s and early 70s. They were building recreational communities, very large projects, Pine Mountain Lake, Incline Village, Rancho Calaveras. These were 3,000 to 5,000 acre projects with 2,000 to 4,000 lots, and we were selling them as recreational communities. We built the dams, we built the lakes. Pine Mountain Lake, for an example, had 71 miles of roads and sewer systems and water systems throughout just the one project.
I'm glad you're highlighting was just how much development experience you've had. Like you said,
10 years. I did that for 10 years for Boise. So from there, when they were wrapping up, I got a phone call from Korn Ferry International, and they said they had a client that needed some help on some development projects that were faltering. Well, this, voila, enters the first savings and loan debacle.
More ripoffs. The savings and loan scandal could cost $500 billion. But in Washington, the big question still is, who gets the blame? Today, the president and his congressional critics gave a preview of the positions that they'll be taking to the voters later this year.
So they sent me over to American Savings and Loan, or Financial Corporation of America. It was the largest S&L in the nation at the time. And it was a $34 billion shop back then. And they had a big problem. It turned out that they had a $17 billion good bank, $17 billion bad bank.
Yeah.
And so my
It's a lot of-
charter was to be their corporate broker for them.
Yeah, a lot of bad debt on the books. If I'm right.
Tremendous amount of bad debt all over the nation. And so that's when I wound up being corporate broker for American Savings and Loan. And I had at any one time on my plate as corporate broker somewhere in the vicinity of $8 to $12 billion worth of non-performing commercial assets scattered across the continental United States. My assignment was to divest of that. And
the problem wasn't just the amount or the bad assets, but the process. There was a lack of process, right, to even tackle that problem.
You know what, Brad? It just blew my mind that during those 2 years, they ultimately did not, American Savings Alone didn't make it.
Yeah. Well,
and so, but they did not have any systems. All of the, literally, I had $500 million worth of real estate on my plate. That's what I was selling annually, just myself. And ultimately, I had to bring in additional real estate trained individuals to start handling the volume that we had.
Yeah.
And so we set up systems and processes. But believe it or not, during that era, 85 to 86, they were calculating all of their transactions on a handheld Texas Instrument 123 calculator. They didn't even know what an HP 12C was back then.
Well, this is another interesting concept that we talk about sometimes, which is, we use the funny analogy about the horse and buggy, and even today, sales and marketing and technology with the internet is moving so fast with AI that, if you're not keeping up with it, you can find yourself really far behind really quick. And so I think it's interesting that it's actually the same problem, just different time period, right? Because progress never stops.
No, it doesn't. And but the technology opens up so many interesting windows because it blew my mind. How are you going to manage, $17 billion of assets? These are working assets. These are commercial buildings, retail, office complexes, grocery stores, movie theaters, mushroom farms, sewage system operations.
At the end of the day, how much did you help them sell and recover? And I think these were cash transactions, I believe, too.
Back in that era, everything that we sold had to be sold for cash. And before the feds took over American Savings and Loan, the FDIC came in and turned all the assets over to what was called RTC. But we were pushing out of the Stockton office. We were pushing out somewhere in the vicinity of almost $4.5 to $5 billion worth of assets a year.
Yeah. So to say my friend Dennis Sassman here knows a thing about selling real estate would be an understatement. Yeah.
Well, the thing that really made the day, to be very honest with you, is that this really tells my age, but many young man, he and I discussed the fact that they were doing it so old-fashioned, and they didn't really know how to calculate internal rates of returns, or let alone return on investments. And so we designed and built actually a commercial real estate investment analysis tool. And very basic back in that day. This is back in the days of green screens and orange screens and MS-DOS. You had to give your computer code through MS-DOS to make it to even turn it on.
What I find interesting about this is that, like I said, old problem, new time, right? So history repeats itself a little bit. And, this brought me to the idea that we always talk about what are the three things that all brokers and real estate professionals in general want. They want leads and listings, but they also need leverage to get it, right? Leads, listings, and leverage. Those are the three. Right. And so the question becomes, well, what is the leverage? Well, there's only two forms of leverage. It's people you're going to hire, your team, right? Labor, your agents, your staff, people, or technology. That's it. And so technology, we can do a lot with that today. And that's where I think this conversation is going is, a lot of real estate professionals these days are great at what they do. They know real estate, right? But where they're lacking is in marketing and sales. And it's not their fault all the time, but if you lack systems and you don't know where you want to go, you don't have a consistent, clear strategy, it's really hard to win all the time. And so by simply filling those holes, right, let's know where we're going to go, how we're going to get there, and what are the few tools we need to make it happen, not 50. And more importantly, can we find something that's fully integrated? And that's something that we talk a lot about where, Dream Funnel as the platform, some people may not know, there's really two sides to the company. We have the platform, which is our technology side, which you can think of that of like a Salesforce or a HubSpot, right? But it's your fully integrated CRM, your marketing hub, your email marketing, your websites, everything in one. The problem with most other platforms is these things are scattered in multiple places. And I don't know about you, but I felt the pain of trying to integrate tools, track information, make things work well with each other, and it never quite seems to work out. And so our goal, part of our mission is not only to help make brokers make more money, but to simplify your life, right? To save a little bit of time, to automate what you can. That way you can actually enjoy your business and really spend your time where, one, you want to spend it, and two, where it's most effective.
Well, and on that topic or that point is that most brokers, they have their set ways. They've been doing it for years, and but they also recognize technology is they have to stay on top of technology because it's constantly changing, new regs, new regulations, new forms, new documentations, more compliance, blah 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 blah. And but you have the issue that technology can soak up a heck of a lot of your time from the standpoint of understanding that technology. And then how do you interface the APIs and all the different components of all the different pieces together of the technologies that are out there? That's what attracted me to you and Dream Funnel, is that being a fully integrated system, not only is it integrated as to all the functionalities of tech and branding and marketing and sales, but it's got the operational component of the running of the business. You can get reports, you can get analytics, you can get all the key points that the Dream Funnel package provides, and it's all fully integrated.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to piecemeal all this stuff together. And let's face it, you want to focus on the core competency of your business. You don't want to have to be focusing on all the interfacing technologies in order to make it work.
Yeah.
So it just becomes a natural to grab a hold of some technology that's got it all incorporated and bundled into one package.
I think that's a really good point you made about, one of the biggest differences between us and other providers is most of the other providers are do-it-yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a place for do-it-yourself, but you just made the point that nobody wakes up in the morning and wants to learn software, right? Nobody wants to spend 20 hours a week trying to understand automations or even what that means. And so what makes us truly different is not only do we have the technology, the fully integrated platform that saves time and automates and all this wonderful stuff, but we also have the team, and expertise to actually do it for you. And so you don't have to learn how to do it. I mean, we want you to understand enough to where you want to be able to use it effectively. But anytime you need help or a little bit of support, that's what we're here for. And I think it's just a perfect combination of, give you what you need at a great price point. But if you need a little bit of help, we're here for that too.
Well, actually, I think there's 3 buckets, Brad, to be honest with you. You can do it yourself. We can do it for you, or we can do it with you. And that with you is a little more complex, of course, and a lot more customization. So, but those are the 3 buckets. There's so much to understand in the technology sector and what's going on. I mean, let's face it, technology is not static. It just is constantly changing. Fortunately, for the better, I believe. Prime example of that is where we're at today with the new AI
Yep.
capabilities that have come into focus versus, I mean, literally, we're now looking at the old search engine optimization concept is turning into a horse and buggy.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up because AI is changing the way we do things. It's a huge help, and luckily, Dream Funnel's right on par with that. We've got a number of AI features right in Dream Funnel that really help you with two core activities. One is going to be how do we save you time with answering phone calls, answering inquiries, right? The problem with us human beings is we have to sleep. We can't work 24/7, and we're expensive. If you were to hire a $20 per hour assistant for a normal 40-hour week, that's $3,200 a month. So $3,200 a month. That's not that cheap overall for someone just to pick up the phone, respond to things. Now with AI, our systems, it can do all that 24/7. It's consistent. It never sleeps. It never complains. And it's really, really well done to where, at the end of the day, you can log in and see, your warm leads, who's actually real. Don't waste your time following up with things that, aren't legitimate. And so technology becomes your leverage where you can buy back that time, let it work much more efficiently for pennies per hour. It's almost a no-brainer. We talk a lot about missed opportunities. This is a good one. Most companies want to promise the world of what they're going to give you as far as increased sales, increased conversions, and that's great. We want to do that too. But a lot of brokers and agents don't realize how much or how many opportunities they're missing already every day with what they're already doing. And so the good example of that is missed phone calls. We all know that, how many phone calls would you say on average you miss on any given month? Not sure, maybe, a couple a week, maybe 5 to 10 a month. Well, 10 missed phone calls a month over 10 to 12 months is 100 missed phone calls or more. Out of those, how many of those could have been 20, 30, $15,000 opportunities, commissions for a property sale or purchase? We won't know because we missed the phone call. To give you an example, the solution is with Dream Funnel, our systems will always pick up the phone. They'll always answer the call. They'll always respond within 2 minutes or less to an inquiry. And so you never again miss an opportunity. It will follow up immediately with everybody all the time, allowing you to capture more of what you already have. And even if you got one more deal a year out of it, let's say worth $20,000, $1 million property, let's say, that's about a 1,500% return on the software per year. So it's a no-brainer in my opinion. It makes a lot of sense.
Well, speed today, everybody wants the easy button.
Yeah.
And speed is everybody wants instant gratification today. It's just how we are. It's what it's moved up to. I mean, who wants to? I mean, emails. They're becoming similar to the old snail mail.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's dings your phone, and you do the instant response, and you move on to the next issue.
Yeah.
But having that speed factor and being able to do instant response backs to the inquiries that come into your shop, super valuable.
Yeah, well, and
And
if you think about human nature, what happens most days if you call somebody, a service provider, a plumber, anybody, and they don't pick up, you naturally just call the next company. It's not personal. You're just busy. You're moving on. That happens all the time. Where they've proven this. I think the fact is, if you call somebody back 5 minutes or later, just 5 minutes or later, the chances of conversion drops by 70%. 70%. So you could potentially double your business just by following up faster, not even adding more people. And so you can see where I'm going with this. If you add more traffic and you increase conversion and you increase your speed to follow up and you add in 24/7 automation, you've got multiple levels there of increase. It's a great time to be a broker. It's a great time to be an agent. And I think this is a great segue into let's go over our 12 stages real fast in our roadmap. Just the highlights. We don't have time to get in the whole thing, but I want the brokers and agents to see the methodology of what we're talking about. You know, if you follow these 12 steps over the next 12 months, I can almost guarantee your brokerage will grow in some way, in a measurable way. And so with that,